Alright, hello. My name is Mr. RPKC. This is a commentary speedrun of Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. I'm going to do an any percent glitchless speedrun today and do some commentary along with it. So without further ado, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go! So, this is Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. We are going to play as this gentleman named Juan. And today is the day of the festival, so we are gonna leave our little Casa de Juan and go into town. If you've never seen this game before, this is a weird cross between a Metroidvania and also sort of a side-scroller beat-'em. We're gonna jump our way into town because Juan could really use the leg exercise. I mean, look at him, he's all upper body, he clearly skips leg day. Also, I mean, it's slightly faster, I guess. When you're on flat land like this, running and jumping is the same speed, but when you're running up and down slopes, you go a little bit more slowly. So when I'm going up and down slopes, I want to be jumping, if possible. Anyway, so we've come to help out at the church. We need to break all these barrels. We break them in one hit because we're, skilled gamers. If you don't get all those barrels in a single hit, unfortunately you have to uninstall the game and throw your computer in the garbage. That's just how that works. I've never messed up that trick in my life. Here's the president's daughter. She wants to spend some time with us, so we're gonna take her to the festival. And nothing bad could possibly happen here. So I'm gonna jump on over to the president's mansion. And it just exploded. Okay, well this is a bit of a problem. So let's go rescue the president's daughter, who's probably trapped in a burning building right now. Oh, phew, she's already been rescued by this well-dressed skeleton over here. And good thing too, she's tied up. I mean, if he hadn't come around, she'd probably be a goner. And now this skeleton wants to wrestle with us for some reason. It's a little bit strange, but okay. Excuse me. Well that's no good. So, we're dead. But Juan is not gonna let a little thing like death stop him from reuniting with the president's daughter, so we're just gonna come back, I guess. We are now in the realm of the dead. This game has a sort of light world, dark world mechanic. Like every location has two different versions, the living realm version and the dead realm version. So we're in the same town, Pueblo, but there's no one here anymore. And we're gonna find this luchador mask. And this woman named Tostada is gonna appear and tell us to put on this mask. And, I mean, it's 2021, when a random stranger tells you to put a mask on your face, you don't ask any questions, you just slap that thing on. I mean, this mask is gonna bring us back from the dead and give us superpowers, but okay, fine. So we're alive again, and now we're a luchador, and also the town is under attack by skeletons, so let's go save the day. As a luchador, I now have the ability to roll, so that's what I'm doing, it's real fast. And now I have some tutorial combat. So I'm gonna beat up these skeletons as fast as possible. I don't really have any special attacks or anything just yet, all I can really do is punch. So I'm just gonna repeatedly 3-hit combo these skeletons as fast as possible. Short little dodge tutorial here. And this yellow skeleton, who's actually really annoying because he likes to dodge, so I just punch him up into the air so that he can't dodge away from me. Cool. Tutorial finished, and now we can go save the world, I guess. The president's daughter has been kidnapped, we're gonna go rescue her. So movement-wise now, I am doing the speedrunning classic, the roll and jump and roll and jump. Rolling is faster than walking, and if you roll and then jump, you carry your roll speed throughout your jump, so it's the fastest way that we can move. Also going to stop off at the save point and switch characters, and also switch costumes. So we're now playing the rest of the game as Tostada, because she deals slightly more damage. And I've switched costumes to the Alajibre outfit. Costumes in this game are not purely cosmetic, they actually have gameplay effects. And this costume allows me to deal double damage, but I also receive double damage while wearing it. So obviously very, very good for the speedrun, but also not without its drawbacks. I mentioned this is a Metroidvania, and as this is any percent, we're going to be skipping most of the collectibles. And one of the main collectibles is health upgrades. And that, combined with the fact that we take double damage, means we are really fragile. Almost everything in the game is either going to one or two shot us, even this early on. So we need to be very, very careful not to die, really. Combat is going to be quite a dodgy affair. For now, you've seen I've just been running past enemies. If the game doesn't force me to fight, I'm not going to, but the game does force us to fight quite a bit. Every so often, we're going to get locked in a combat arena like this, and forced to fight our way out. Okay. Well, those skeletons didn't cooperate so super well there, but that's alright. So the enemies in combat arenas will always spawn in the same locations, but once they spawn, their AI is random, and we can't really predict their movement too well. You can see some Metroid statues in the background there. There's another one right there. And here we break this Chozo statue to unlock our first power. I'm not sure what this is a reference to, but, you know, I don't ask too many questions. Here is Wei Chivo, sorry. He's a goat man person, and he's gonna teach us how to do some special moves. So he's gonna teach us the Rooster uppercut, which serves as a double jump, and it also allows us to break red blocks. So if you see in the bottom right corner, there's a green block there, which I still can't break, because, you know, Metroidvania. But red blocks I can break now. Oops. Well, that was silly of me. I should learn how to dodge. But if you look in the top left corner of the screen, you can see the red bar, which is my health bar. And below that, there's... wow. That was strange. Below that, there's a yellow bar, which is my stamina bar. And every time I use the Rooster uppercut or any special attack, it'll drain one bar. And it'll slowly recover. And if you completely run out of stamina, it takes quite a bit longer to recover. So stamina management is a very important part of the run. Especially early on, there's going to be several points where I'm going to have to actually just stop moving and wait for my stamina to recover until I can get some stamina upgrades. But for now, we're just cleaning up some combats and working our way through the forest. And just avoiding all the other enemies that aren't locked in with us. So the only reason you'd want to kill other enemies is just for money, but we don't really need a whole lot of money. We're going to get plenty from the mandatory combats. But you can see I'm very quickly making work of these skeletons. A single 3-hit combo will one-shot them, thanks to my double damage costume. So they go down pretty quick. Anyways, we've now made our way to Santa Lucita, which is the central town hub area of the game. I have a couple of errands I need to do here before I move on to the first temple, so we're just gonna try and get through those as fast as we can. So first I'm gonna stop off at Viva Pinatas for some extra money. Next I'm gonna pick up this hunk of stamina over here. This is a bit of a tricky jump to get back. That looks good. So if I collect 3 of these stamina chunks, my stamina bar will get longer, which we want to do as fast as possible, because we really need more stamina. And then I also need to train here with the combo chicken. This giant talking chicken is going to teach us how to do combos. And if my text descriptions haven't made this perfectly clear so far, this game is not entirely serious. It's almost borders on parody. There's a lot of humor in the dialogue, a lot of references to other video games. And I really love it. You notice I'm playing the game in English. Other languages would be faster, but I like to read the text, so I play this game in English. It's really just that simple. This game has a lot of humor in the dialogue that I just like reading even as I mash through it. So anyways, we're done with our combo training. You could sort of see there that this game really does have a very flowing combat system. You can combine like any attack, you can chain any attack into any other attack, so you can chain punches into special attacks, into uppercuts, into more punches and more special attacks. It flows really, really nicely, and it's really satisfying to do, so I enjoy the combat quite a bit. Here we meet an Olmec head. This is the game's fast travel mechanism, so we can teleport between any like heads that we find. And we're not actually going to use that power all that much. Actually, only twice in the run, but it's handy. Here we reach the Temple of Rain, our first temple. You can tell because it's raining. This temple plays with the light and dark world mechanics, so there are these portals that you can see right here that swap us between the living and dead realm. And if you see any walls or platforms that are sparkly, those are walls or platforms that only exist in one dimension and not the other, so we need to, you know, tactically switch between them to make our way forward. Here we meet Shitabe. Her hair defies physics, and I love it. She's one of the villains of the game. We're going to be seeing her repeatedly. So she's just going to talk to us for a little bit. So I mentioned that enemy AI is random, but enemies always spawn in the same locations in combat. And that fact can save us a ton of time. Here we have a combat against some Aluxes, which are a very random enemy. They like to jump around quite a lot. But just knowing where they spawn saves so much time. As you can see, you can just do this and just take them all out before they even get to move. Anyways, we have a couple of portal rooms to deal with. I'm gonna come over here and solve this this puzzle, I guess, in order to get another chunk of stamina, because again, we need stamina as fast as possible. And we're gonna start making our way through the temple. Yeah, so very careful stamina management there. So you see I run out of stamina right when I don't need it anymore, which is by design. We have this big old random combat. I have to dodge these bones, which isn't too difficult. I haven't really talked about rolling, but the way rolling works, as I pick up this health upgrade. So I'm going to actually get a single health upgrade this run, which is quite a nice help. But when you are rolling in this game, you are completely immune to damage the entire length of the roll. So it's very powerful dodging mechanism. There you saw some black silhouetted enemies. And those are enemies that are in the other dimension. So you can't hit them unless you're in the correct dimension with them. But they can hit you, which isn't really fair, but you know. Here we meet Wei Chivo again. He's going to teach us the OLMEC'S Headbutt, which is an attack that allows us to break yellow blocks. It's also the most powerful special attack that we're going to get. It deals 4 punches worth of damage, whereas all of our other special attacks only deal 3. So I'm going to stop at the save point and buy a final chunk of stamina, or stunk, I guess, which actually extends our stamina bar, which is quite helpful. So yeah, we're going to be making a lot of use of the OLMEC'S, but shh, don't wake the dragon. So that's Alec Hebrag. And we'll be seeing him a little bit more later, once he wakes up. Yeah, right. Couldn't remember which dimension that first enemy spawned in. I really should know that, but... Oh, that was silly too. Oh. Yeah, you can see our headbutt makes very quick work of enemies, one-shotting them. Alright, here's Valley. Everybody. Alright. We wouldn't want to wake up that dragon. He looks like he could beat us up, probably. Alright, now we're getting our next special attack, the Goat Jump, as it's called. Or just Wall Jump if you don't like fun, I guess. But this allows us to just jump off of walls. So now we've gotten both the special attacks from this dungeon, so now we can go and actually just beat the dungeon. I also forgot to split. I should do that. Simple little puzzle room here. Nothing too difficult. There is actually a faster way to do that, but it's actually very difficult and I don't like to do it. There's another one of those rooms coming up, actually, where I will try and do the faster strat, as it were. But for now, we're just going to try and get through these rooms as fast as possible. With the 3 stamina bars, we actually have like a good amount of stamina for this now. So we don't need to worry too much about that. But yeah, here's the slightly tricky acid trip room, as it's called, which I'm going to try and do in an unintended way. Which we actually succeeded. Nice. So it's a little bit faster than the intended strat. Oh, nice, yeah. So if you roll into this cutscene, you can get like right up in Chitabe's face. It's really funny. She's just sort of like yelling right into my ear. It doesn't save any time, but it's funny to do. So that giant there, you actually catch him in the air. He spawns in the air, and if you just like keep juggling him, he can't actually attack you, which is kind of nice. Alright, some good RNG by the enemies there. And we're basically done with the Temple of Rain. So we've been climbing up to the very top, and you can see there's like this altar here in the background. But we're too late, we've missed the President's Daughter, so they've taken off already. So there's nothing more for us to do here, except fight the boss, which is the dragon we saw earlier, Alahibre. He's actually, the costume I'm wearing is the Alahibre costume, which is actually named after him. But yeah, this is just a big auto-scroller. I'm just gonna run away. There's not much I can do. I like to do backflips when I'm waiting. But yeah, not much going on here. Just trying to run away. I am actually gonna try and lure these skeletons over here so that I can kill them. Sometimes they kind of get in your way. And we're gonna kill Alahibre with a sick video game reference right here. See if you can figure out where this reference comes from. It's kind of subtle. And there he goes. And then Chitabe here actually just says, "Your princess is in another castle." First words out of her mouth. But yeah, we killed her dragon, but rather than kill us, she's just gonna teleport away. Which is a recurring theme with bad guys in this game. They like to not fight us. Alright, so we're done with the Temple of Rain, we just need to get back to town. Conveniently, there's a shortcut here, using this OLMEC head. So we're gonna just teleport back. And look for clues. So, the President's Daughter, we don't know where she went to, so we're gonna go poke around town. And the only place that makes sense to look is, of course, the pub, so that's where we're gonna head to. And here we meet Flameface, another recurring villain that we'll be seeing a whole bunch of. But yeah, Flameface is just going to talk about his life story. I believe it's that in life he was a murderer who liked to burn people alive. So then he died and went to hell, and the devil lit his head on fire for eternity as a punishment. So that's his backstory. And he tries to shoot us, but he doesn't have any bullets in his gun, so fortunate for us. So he just pays our bar tab and leaves. And he tells us not to go poking around in the desert, so that's exactly what we're gonna go do after we break out of the pub here. I haven't really talked about dodge canceling, but I've been doing it all over the place. Whenever you do any special attack in this game, they have quite a long animation, but you can actually cancel it by dodging. So that's typically what I'm doing almost every time I use a special attack. You just can end the animation early by doing a roll. Alright, so the path to the desert is blocked, so we have to go to the canal, which is another way to get into the deserts. We're gonna head over there, gonna make another stop at Viva Pinatas for some more pinata money. You'll notice that there's actually, at the end of every combat, a pinata will spawn in the center of the arena as a reward, but we don't get any of them because it spawns in the center of the arena, which is not typically where we want to be headed. Oh, that was a headbutt in the wrong direction. That's cool. That's fine, though. Our goat friend here is gonna invite us over to his hut, so we're gonna go follow him. He has an important special move to teach us. So we're gonna break his chosen statue, and then he's gonna teach us about Intenso. So Intenso is a very powerful special attack. You can see below my stamina bar now I have a third meter, which is my Intenso meter. And once it's full, you can activate it to go into the Intenso state, which you just saw there. While in the state, you move faster, recover faster, punch faster, and you deal double damage. And this stacks with our outfit, so quad damage. However, as long as it's active, the bar will start draining, and you know, you run out of bar pretty quickly. You fill it up by punching things, so Intenso management is now another sort of important aspect of the run. As I forget to split again. I'm probably going to forget that a bunch. But I'm going to break these barrels because they contain some Intenso in them. And then, yeah, we're going to have to carefully manage our Intenso bar because it is very, very powerful. It can save a lot of time in a lot of fights. But we can only use so much of it. If we mess up any of the Intenso fights, your sort of whole bar, your Intenso bar route can kind of get messed up. We have to adapt to that, but... Hello. I am actually going to use Intenso here to deal with these giants, because they actually are quite tanky. And dealing double damage against them is pretty nice. And you can see that that drained my bar, not completely, but it drained a good chunk of it. And there's our final health upgrade, actually. So this is all the health we're going to have. That single health upgrade is quite nice. It saves you from being one-shotted by a number of different enemies. Not all of them. There's still plenty that are going to one-shot us, but there are a few that don't anymore, which is nice. This is a bit of a dodging tutorial. You're supposed to dodge these fish that are like on fire, but you can also just kill them. And killing them gives me money. It also gives me Intenso refill, so I'm going to try and kill as many fish as I can. Ah, he dodged me. Alright. So I can actually, my bar is full enough that I can actually activate it, so I'm actually going to use it in this next fight. It doesn't save very much time, but I'm very close. I'm going to get a free refill, a free Intenso refill in the very next fight anyways, so using it here is a complete free roll. Alex's are kind of annoying, as I said, they're really bouncy, they're kind of hard to track down. Gotta wait for that platform, unfortunately. Oh, that was weird. Not sure how I did like a sort of double jump there, that was very odd. But yeah, we just have some platforming to get through here. Some slow cycles, unfortunately, but that's alright. Here I actually want to pick up that pinata as I jump down here. You actually only get one shot at this, because you fall past it pretty quickly, but it's not hard to get, but you do actually want to get it for the free $150 that it gives you. And now we have the canal ride. So this is another sort of auto-scroller. As long as we're on this boat, enemies will keep spawning. and I want to actually kill as many as I can just for money purposes, for no other reason. Like, if you don't kill the enemies, more enemies will not spawn, right? Like, there will just always be enemies spawning such that there is, like, 3 enemies on the boat at all times. And so I just want to pick them off as fast as possible to get money. Here's the free Intenso refill. This Alex has it for me. But I'm immediately going to deactivate it. I want to keep my bar for a little bit later. Okay, whatever. Being a little bit careful with my stamina as well. There's a giant that's going to spawn, like right there. Who I actually use Intenso and special attacks on because he's a little bit spooky. He can deal a lot of damage. He can almost one-shot you. If I hadn't have upgraded my health, he would be able to one-shot you. So if you've taken any damage, he can just kill you very quickly. Here we dodge these fruit. There's a town here, and they're used to being attacked by skeletons, so that's why he was throwing fruit at me, but he realizes we're not a skeleton, so he lets us into the town. This gentleman has a very large hat. I'm not really sure what's up with that. It's a little bit unusual, but... who am I to question him, really? Oh. Didn't jump quite high enough. So we actually have absolutely nothing to do in that town, so we just immediately leave. Here we get some backstory on Tostada, the character we're playing as. That's her in the mural in the background. A long time ago, she saved the citizens of this town from a erupting volcano. So that's her backstory. Also, in that cutscene, you saw there were actually 2 Tostadas standing there. So in this game, you're supposed to play as Juan, and if you swap to play as Tostada, everyone still calls you Juan, and Tostada still appears in cutscenes and talks to you and stuff. And yeah. So there's just two Tostadas in a bunch of the cutscenes. So that's fine. That was actually really good. You can kill a bunch of those enemies by just luring them into pits. Another slow cycle room here, unfortunately. So we're just making our way through the canal. We're still trying to get over to the desert where Flameface is hiding, but this is apparently the fastest way we know how to get there. So our next special attack here, this is going to be the Frog Slam. Excuse me. Which is our sort of ground pound attack. And this one allows us to break green blocks. Oops. I'm going to stop at the save point and actually buy a couple of stamina upgrades. So those are just upgrades that will allow my stamina bar to recover more quickly, which is, again, very, very handy, as I'm using a lot of it. These saw blades will one-shot you, by the way. Or, not one-shot you, they instantly kill you if you touch them. Simple little arena there, but you just gotta be a little bit careful not to roll into the saw blades. The ground pound can also be used against these flowers when they're hidden underground. I foolishly ran out of stamina, so I don't have stamina for that giant, but that's alright. A little bit slower to punch him, fortunately, but not a big deal. Alright, here we meet probably my favorite villain in the game, the El Trio de la Muerte, as they're called. Every line that comes out of their mouth is absolute gold. They're so funny. But for now, we have a fight against the mini-boss, which is the beatboxer, as he's called. And the beatboxer is a bit of a scary enemy. He has purple fists, as you can see, and any purple attacks in this game cannot be dodged by rolling. So I can't just like roll through his fists like you can with like everything else. And he also, as you can see, he can dodge roll out of your combo, as he tried to do there. He's a bit of a spooky enemy, really. We're gonna see him a couple of times. But I made pretty good work of him there. As we just wrap up Canal here. We're done all the combats, we just need to get out of here. A little bit of platforming over this body of water. As we make our way over to the desert. So, you may notice I have a full Intenso bar, and I've actually had a full Intenso bar for like 2 or 3 combats in a row now. And that is because I am just saving it for the deserts. And the desert has cacti, which are a very obnoxious enemy. They have 1 hit point, they die to just like anything, but they're completely immune to all attacks. Any attack that you throw at them, they will just deflect back at you. The only way you can actually deal damage to them is by throwing things at them. And cacti, the only things that they do is they throw spiky fruit at you, and occasionally they'll throw a non-spiky fruit that you can catch and throw back at them. So, a really annoying enemy, but when you transform into Intenso, there's actually a very small explosion, and it damages and knocks back all enemies around you. It deals very little damage, but it actually hits cacti. It's the one attack that you have that can actually affect cacti. So I'm going to use it in this fight to just deal with all these cacti. So they spawn over here, and I just transform into Intenso, which defeats them. This enemy here I'm going to throw at that cacti, and that gives me enough bar to just Intenso down those 2. So it makes very, very quick work of them. Here I throw that enemy at that armadillo, at that cacti. Cactus, I guess. But basically, any fight that we have that has cactus in them, we basically want to have an Intenso bar available if possible, because they are otherwise very annoying. So, just making our way slowly through the deserts. Avoiding cacti, you know, the usual. Making very good use of our stamina upgrades here. The fact that it recovers more quickly and yeah, it's just a huge boon in this area. Even with the upgrades, I still had to wait a little bit. And here we are introduced to enemy shields. So enemies can have shields, and those shields have certain colors, and they behave the same way as blocks. You can only break them using a particular special attack. So headbutt for yellow shields, uppercut for red shields, frog slam for green shields. You can still like knock back the enemy with punches and things, but you don't deal any damage unless you are doing the right special attack. So it adds a little bit of something extra to combat. And this combat in particular is actually one of the most difficult. This combat has a lot of shielded enemies that we have to deal with. Okay, I want to save my Intenso. I also would have liked to not run out of stamina there. It's a little unfortunate. Okay. Oops. Okay. That was not bad. That was, I mean, it was fairly clean. It was a little slow though, actually, but not bad. And hey, it's the president's daughter, so time is coming up. It's going to be in about 3 seconds. 3, 2, oh no. Ah, never mind. It's a trap. Like an orphaned cabbage, you rolled straight into my trap. I mean, she isn't wrong. So we've been pushed into the Dead Realm, and we're stuck here. And Chitabe is going to fetch the skeleton. The skeleton's name is Kalaka, by the way. He's the big bad. And he's angry that we killed his pet dragon. So rather than kill us, he is going to turn us into a chicken. And has condemned us to live out the rest of our life in chicken form. Or in our case, cute little dragon form because of our outfit. So we're a chicken now. Fortunately, this cave network is filled with chicken-sized tunnels, which is really quite suspicious in my opinion. But we're just gonna make our way back across the desert. Here we have the first of two chicken combats. This one is pretty straightforward. You just have to dodge these enemies. The white armadillos will always roll, and the yellow armadillos will always jump. So you just have to watch the pattern. It's the same pattern every time as well, but I mean, you don't even have to memorize it or anything. It's pretty easy to just use your eyes, I guess. So the second chicken fight will actually be a fight. I am actually going to have to attack. You can attack as chicken, and you can also activate Intenso as chicken, and Intenso chicken deals a hilariously large amount of damage, so that's what I'm going to do, because the regular chicken deals very, very little. Oof. Okay. It's a bit of a tricky jump. That's alright. So here it is, the chicken fight. And we're just going to activate Intenso and just two-shot these guys. Alright, this room is a big old pile of RNG. I can tank one hit here. Oh, jeez, I messed that up. And depending on like the pattern, I might tank a hit if I deem it beneficial. Ooh, that was not intentional. It's actually really bad. That's fine. A very slow room, but not a big deal. And here we meet the devil. The devil was turned into a rooster by Kalaka. And he is going to teach us the secret of turning back into a human, which is to press left bumper, of course. But yeah, the story is Kalaka turned the devil into a rooster and has actually taken over hell. And is trying to merge the living and dead realms together so they can rule over everything. But anyways, we're going to stop him. A long time ago, I mentioned that rolling and jumping is the fastest form of movement, or it's faster than walking. Well, being a chicken is faster than rolling, so this is our best movement option now, is just be a chicken whenever possible. Of course, a chicken does not have any special attacks or double jumps or anything of the sort, so we are going to need to use human in many spots, but whenever possible, we want to be chicken. And like human, his jump and running speeds are the same, but he runs a little bit more slowly over slopes. So we want to jump over slopes whenever possible. Not sure why that flower decided to... Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's weird. Both the flowers decided to just chill over in that corner over there. It was a bit unusual, but not a big deal. Also, whenever I swap between human and chicken, I generally want to do it in the air, because if you do it on the ground, you'll actually stop moving for a split second. So you want to do it when airborne, like so. Continuing to work on our next stamina chunk, because we would still like more stamina. But anyways, we've solved the chicken problem, as we can turn into an out of chicken, but we are still trapped in the realm of the dead. So we're gonna go look for Shitabe and hope that she can move us back, I guess. So we've come back to Pueblucho, the starting town in the game, because this is where Shitabe is hiding. So Shitabe is the first real sort of boss fight that we're going to actually have in the game. In general, what I want to be doing is trying to keep her in the air as long as possible. Whenever she touches the ground, she's going to teleport away. So once I hit her into the air, I want to keep her there. Let's get Shitabe skip here. Nice, nailed it. So that's the plan, I just want to juggle her as much as possible. Couldn't quite get the full combo there. Ooh, she went the wrong way there. Alright, so that's phase 1. That attack's actually really nice because you can just spam headbutt while she's throwing her little tantrum there. Eh. In this last phase, you can actually stop her from teleporting away if you just punch her right as she touches the ground. So that was actually quite good. Very clean. And that's the Shitabe fight. So Shitabe is going to now teach us the secret of swapping dimensions. Ow. Yeah, that was a gold. Nice. So now we can swap dimensions at will, and thus make platforms appear and disappear, which adds a new dimension to the platform. Unironically, though, it does actually add quite something to how the platforming works, because obviously we need to make platforms appear and disappear as we jump between them. So it's just yet another button to keep track of. And we're going to be seeing a lot of that in the next dungeon, which is the tool tree, which is where we're headed towards. But it plays a lot with this platform dimension swapping mechanics, I guess. So we're just going to head over there. Also, common question, why don't you use Intenso against bosses? Wouldn't double damage be useful there? Well, Intenso doesn't actually double your damage against bosses. They're just immune to the effects of it, I guess. So we're not going to use Intenso against really any boss in this game. So we're coming back through the forest to make our way over to the tool tree. Fortunately, there's no combats in this area because we cleared them all out long ago. Alright. So the tool tree is mainly a platforming area. We get to play with these fun dimension swapping mechanics. Okay. And I fortunately now have 4 stamina bars, which is quite helpful because we're going to be making a lot of use of special attacks as we do this platforming. Oops. Loved that a little bit. Anyways, there's a cactus here, and immediately I have a full Intenso bar, so I can just take him out quickly. And I'm actually going to just keep Intenso up for the rest of this fight, because... oh jeez, I really missed that. I'm going to get a free Intenso refill, so there's not really any point in trying to save it for later. But yeah, you can see these dimension swaps can get a little bit complicated. Alright. We see our next enemy here. These are called exploders. And they will explode once their counter ticks down and basically just instantly kill you. So we're gonna hopefully never see that. The double damage outfit, of course, very, very useful against them because they don't really attack you, so it's just a complete free roll to just have double damage against them. So, Uechigo here is going to teach us the double jump, which, is exactly what it sounds like. Which greatly increases our, vertical reach. He's going to leave us with some wise wisdom about version control systems. Oh, software development pun. You didn't think that was coming, did you? But yeah, so we have our double jump now, which we're going to start making use of. So our double jump refreshes every time we touch the ground or a wall, so while wall jumping you can do it. But our special attacks, like our rooster uppercuts, only recovers when you touch the ground. Here's our free intensive refill. And again, I'm not going to shut it off because I'm actually going to get another intensive refill, like, further along into this fight. So might as well just use it to annihilate these enemies. Ow. So here's the next intensive refill, and then now I'm going to turn it off to save my bar for later. Oops. Forgot what room I was going into there for a second. This room I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut here. And just barely make this jump. And you can see I actually did a ground pound there, because ground pounds actually give you a slight bit of extra height, which is a little bit weird. That can be helpful when making tight jumps. Here at Wei Chivo here is going to completely troll us, because we get nothing. He just straight up does not give you any power up there. You have to talk to him to open up this path, but he doesn't give you anything. Alright, we're about halfway through the run. Stretch time. Hydrate. I think it's the longest break you get. Alright. Alright, we finally made it back to the desert, which we've been trying to do for the past, like, half hour. And we've made it to the Temple of War, which is where Flameface has hidden himself. So this dungeon introduces a couple of interesting new mechanics, like this one where water is lava in one dimension and water in the other. Also these new triple white shields, which can only be broken by punching very rapidly. And some new enemies, like these windmills here. Windmills are a bit spooky. They can actually one-shot you with one of their attacks. I'm using Tenso briefly there just to deal with them a little bit more quickly. They're quite tanky. That's typically how we use Intenso throughout the run, is just for very quick bursts to deal with key enemies. Just so we're maintaining our bar for as long as possible, or like using as little of our bar as possible. I didn't get him. That's unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna wait for Stamina to come back here for just a second. I was hoping to get an Intenso refill a little bit sooner in that fight. I would have used it, but I was a little bit slow in the previous fight, I guess. But that's alright. Oops, okay. Flubbed that platforming a little bit, but that's alright. But yeah, I'm actually going to get a full Intenso refill in the very next fight, so having a full bar here is a little bit of a waste. These green walls, the walls that have like the green like moss on them or whatever it is, you cannot latch onto them with your wall jump. Here we see one of the scariest enemies in the game, Hammer Time they're called. Their attack is undodgeable, it one-shots you, and it covers like a full quarter of the screen. They're quite spooky, especially when you don't see them coming. But fortunately we know where they're going to be most of the time. This room is obviously on a very large cycle, but it's kind of hard to mess up because if you get behind on the cycle, then you do it more quickly because the platform's closer to you. So you almost always get like the exact same cycle every time. So here Flameface is going to talk with us for a little bit before teleporting away, like you do. And we have a big old combat arena here. Using Tenso on that giant because, again, they are very tanky. Alright, that was a pretty good fight. Not bad at all, and I have a good, I have a almost full bar coming out of it too, which is also good. Here we're going to learn the Dashing Derp Derp, as it's called, which is our forward B, our forward dashing attack. A very, very good attack. It does less damage than a headbutt, but it's so useful. Just the amount of area that it covers is really quite good. Also allows us to break blue blocks. And I'm going to stop off at this save point and purchase my very last stamina upgrade. Just one more upgrade to make my stamina recover even more quickly. Or rather, it reduces the delay before your stamina starts recovering. Okay. Oh, I need to deal with this guy, don't I? Wow, I was like a millisecond too slow. That's unfortunate. Deal with him first. Ah, come on. Trying to break the yellow skeleton shield, but he's not playing very nice, was he? Yeah, a lot of these enemies now can actually dodge your attacks, as you can see there. They're just rolling right out of your attacks, which can be a little bit tricky. I didn't handle that super well, but these things happen. Also, having to redo that fight is a little bit awkward, because I used Intenso the first time, right? So then you don't get your Intenso back when you die. So the second time's harder, I guess. There you can see the full power of the amount of jumps that we have. We have our double jump, and then our uppercut, and also now our dashing derp derp, which you can all use in the air to get a lot of distance. Now, all right, now we just have this super long auto scroller followed by the Flameface fight. So I'm just going to start complaining about Flameface now. Flameface is terrible. He is the worst boss in this game by a large margin. He has several attacks where he will just teleport to the top of the room and use his guns, and you just have to sit there and dodge. And when he does this, you can't attack him. He's just completely immune to damage. So every time he does that, it just loses a huge amount of time, and you can just randomly decide to spam these attacks or not. During the fights, he will also summon random enemies, and they can decide to, be nice and leave you alone, or just, like, interrupt you while you're comboing him. So it's a big old pile of RNG, and it's not a lot of fun. The fight's not especially hard, it's just rather annoying. But anyways, who's ready for some sick Star Wars references? Your overconfidence is your weakness. Your faith in your friends is your boast. So, Glocka here is going to teleport away with the President's Daughter and leave us to Flameface. Like all villains, he's an excellent manager. Alright, so Flameface, I'm going to try to not use very many special attacks. I find he responds well to punching, unless he doesn't, I guess. This is the exact attack we want to avoid. I really thought he was going to teleport away from me there. Oh, he's so close. Oh wow, really? I died? Oh my goodness. He was like a hit away from dead. I played that a little greedy, I guess. He was giving me really good RNG too. Okay, now I'm again a hit away from death. This is what happens when everything in the game two-shots you. Okay, we got him. So yeah, that's unfortunate. It was actually, the first fight was looking really good, and then I just got a little bit greedy at the very end and paid for it, unfortunately. But that's Flameface. Alrighty. So we got our next special attack here, the Goat Climb, which allows us to run up walls. And Wei Chibo here is going to leave us with some sage speedrunner advice. Feels exploitable. It's actually not. It's morphing into a chicken that's the exploitable mechanic in this game. Though, obviously this is glitchless, so we're not going to use that. But Goat Climb goes pretty unexploited, I think, even in glitched speedruns. But anyways, Goat Climb is a special attack, and as such it does consume stamina, and it does also deal damage, though I don't think we ever use it for that. But yeah, the fact that it uses stamina is something to keep in mind, because it's not free to use. We do have to work it into stamina rating. Even though our stamina does come back incredibly quickly now, we've gotten almost all the stamina upgrades. Alright, so our next destination is the volcano, but unfortunately you can't actually go there. If you go to the volcano right now, the door is actually just locked. We have to first go to Sierra and see that, like, we can't progress in Sierra, and then go to the volcano. Which is kind of a shame, but that's how it goes. So, we're gonna make our way over to Sierra. So this is sort of the final area in the game. We're gonna have to come back here later, but yeah, this is the final area. It has a couple of spooky enemies. This introduces us to Void enemies, which are sort of reskinned versions of some of the earlier enemies. We'll see one right here. A Void skeleton. And Void enemies are actually terrifying. They attack incredibly fast. They deal a lot more damage. And they also teleport randomly throughout the fight. So typically when we fight them, we want to just Nova them down as fast as possible to avoid them from teleporting. So like that one, we just blow all of our special attacks on him immediately. And here, I'm actually just going to use Intenso to burst this guy down, because those yellow skeletons, like Void yellow skeletons, are incredibly scary. They are one of the scariest enemies in the game. Making me waste so much time. I dodged a little early there. So, you might have noticed that outside of the arena on the right side, there was actually 2 barrels, and they are filled with Intenso. And I'm actually going to get them halfway through this arena. So I'm going to use Intenso here, burst down these guys as fast as I can, and now I'm going to pick up the Intenso refill for the next wave of enemies. So I've got it right there, which gives me a free refill, so I can use it on these giants as well. A nice little setup to get Intenso on all the enemies there. And here I'm going to swap costumes. This is the first and last costume swap. I'm switching to the skeleton costume. It's a shame that we only get to use it once, because I think the skeleton costume is really pretty, but anyways. The skeleton outfit trades the double damage away, but the skeleton has actual infinite stamina. You can see my stamina bar is not going down as I use special attacks, and that's very helpful in this area here, where I just need to spam a bunch of special attacks in a row. And this area here, where there's approximately 6 bajillion color blocks that I need to break. So, say goodbye to the skeleton, that's the last time we're going to see her. Unfortunately. In Hundo, you get to use the skeleton costume for like 20 minutes, but in any percent, it's just that like 1 minute of skeleton platforming. As we make our way over to the volcano. So this game that I'm playing is Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. This is not to be confused with Guacamelee Gold Edition. Super Turbo Championship Edition is like an expansion pack that was released and added a bunch of content. And the main thing that it added is this dungeon right here, the volcano dungeon. So if you've played this game and this dungeon looks completely unfamiliar to you, it's probably because you played Gold Edition. But yeah, this is a fun little dungeon. It has my favorite boss, which is the El Trio de la Muerte. But it's not an easy one. This is where the game really starts taking off the kids' gloves. There are a lot of really powerful enemies that are just going to be one-shotting us. A lot of undodgeable attacks. Lava, which kills you instantly. Oh, he usually lands in the lava. So here I've broken all these green blocks on purpose. It makes this fight a little bit more dangerous, but it does let us just do this. Hey, Lux. Please, get in the lava. Thank you. Alright. There's one other spot there where I use the ground pound to actually gain a little bit of extra height, because that jump is not easy to make otherwise. And not high enough. That's unfortunate. That's no big deal though. Really don't want to hit those spikes right there. So you get knocked all the way down and have to do that whole room again. Just don't fall in the lava. So there I waited just a second to get some stamina back so I could kill these guys more quickly. Oops. Cool little puzzle here where the lava is lava in one dimension and solid ground in another. So I want to do this in one cycle, which is pretty easy to do, honestly. I did that too fast. I've never done that too fast before, actually. It's my one allotted. That's never happened before. And here we have a chase scene with the lava. It's very lenient. I actually don't think I've ever died to this lava in this room. Like, even casually. that is a very large skeleton. So we have this really long cutscene with the trio here. The trio was originally a quartet, and their fourth band member is trapped in hell. So Palaka has agreed to free their fourth band member if the trio raises a skeleton army for Palaka. So that's what's happening here. They're just doing an inspection on some skeletons. And now we're going to pretend to be a skeleton for this cutscene. Hopefully he won't notice. Wait a minute. Where's your sombrero? Nah, I knew I forgot something. Alright, well... El Trio's gonna leave us to fight some powerful enemies here. Yeah, Intenso was really helpful there. That was a Void Giant, and Void Giants have so much health. But Intenso makes such quick work of them. Oh jeez, okay, that was spooky. Also, I should learn... Okay, well I could just die, that's cool too. I should really learn how to face the correct direction when I'm fighting. Alright, that's a little bit better. But yeah, that was me getting one-shotted from full health, because the windmills can do that. That's the attack right there that one-shot you. That like spinning attack that was just done, that doesn't one-shot you, but their lunge attack does. Some more lava platforming. So next we're going to see one of the most dangerous enemies, which is the Void Windmill. All of his attacks one-shot you. One of his attacks is completely undodgeable, and he can roll out of your combos. But he played pretty nice there, so that'll work. That was a little close. Alright. Here the ceiling's lowering, so we just headbutt everyone into the ceiling. Oops. This room looks really cool if you can do it properly. So these platforms move up and down depending on which dimension you're in, so done properly you can just run through this room at full speed without stopping. And that was actually pretty good. Very nice. So this cutscene here is actually interesting. When this cutscene ends, you gain control of your character immediately, but the camera doesn't actually pan back towards you for like a good 2 or 3 seconds. So when the camera actually does pan back to me, I'm gonna already be in the other room. And we're already down here. Okay. Wow, really? That was a long attack. So these bombs that are spawning in this fight, they will just keep spawning. If you finish this fight fast, a second bomb will not spawn. But I'm doing it not too fast right now, so yeah, that's fine. And you can get a third bomb and a fourth bomb if you're even really slow, but that was fine. Alright, our final special attack, which is the Goat Fly, which allows us to, of course, soar through the air like a majestic goat. So as long as you start off on a wall, you can just activate it and fly through the air. It's very, very fast. You get a lot of speed with it, more than even the chicken speed. So we're going to use it whenever passable, or possible, I guess. It is a special attack, it does consume stamina, and it does also deal damage. So those are factors to keep in mind as we do some platforming. So there is a cycle I want to make here. It's pretty lenient though, it's just this cycle right here. Also goes without saying, but the stamina upgrades are super clutch there. I would have definitely run out of stamina without them. Oh, whoops. Here's a small little platforming puzzle that I'm gonna actually mess up, I guess. Let's try again. So I'm gonna skip it by just going underneath it and getting onto this wall. Alright, I've been saving an intensive bar for a little bit, a couple of fights now, just to deal with this guy. Because he's annoying. Ow. That's not good. Oh, darn it. I tried to jump over, I just messed it up slightly. Now I don't have an intensive bar, so this will be fun. Let's deal with these guys. Okay, he's just gonna play nice. That'll work. Oops. Needed to wait a second there for stamina to come back, but that's alright. Alright, so behind that door is the El Trio de la Muerte boss fights. It's a really fun fight, and it has an absolute banger of a soundtrack, so I'm just gonna be quiet and listen to it, I guess. It's definitely my favorite track in the game. Wow, that guy tried to kill me. That's okay. Also, this cutscene is pure gold. Alright, let's do this thing. Just barely didn't get the one cycle there. Yeah, it was literally one punch away. Darn. That's alright though. Wow, really? Yeah, I've done this fight before. What are you talking about? Alright, let's see if we can redeem ourselves on the second half here. It's a good first half. So this phase, I can't actually deal any damage, I just have to sit here and dodge. Very nice. So this fight, in particular the second half of the fight, is made so much easier by the double damage outfit. Each of those three heads, when he has the three stacks of heads, has its own like hit point pool, and killing any one head interrupts his attack. And with the double damage outfit, you can kill him so quickly, you can kill each head so quickly that he just doesn't get to attack you at all. So in the whole second half of that fight, he just didn't get a single attack off. Alright, so we've made it back to Sierra one more time. This time we can actually beat it properly. Here we see Jaguar. We haven't seen him since the very beginning of the game, actually, and he's our next boss. But we have to chase him through Sierra first. So fun fact, cacti don't actually hurt you if you stand next to them, or even on their heads, in fact. Only if you actually attack them will they like attack you back. So just avoid all that. I'm going to take a little bit of a secret path here, down along the bottom of this room. There's a treasure chest hidden over here, but in particular this is nice because it actually avoids a combat encounter. So it lets us avoid an entire arena, which is rather nice. We just have this dimension swapping challenge to do. You really don't want to mess this up and hit one of these. Otherwise you have to do the whole room over again. Yeah, good. So, the Jaguar fight. The Jaguar is, like, one of the most interesting boss fights in this game. He has a lot of different attacks. They're all very, very quick. He moves very fast. He will put random shield colors on himself throughout the fight. He will also swap dimensions periodically throughout the fight. Usually he'll actually interrupt your combo by doing it. So a lot of mechanics. He has a couple of undodgeable attacks too. Fortunately, he does not one-shot us. All of his attacks will two-shot, so we can take a hit. So there you see he actually swapped dimensions, like avoiding the back half of my combo. Ooh, that was bad by me. Running a little low on stamina, so I'm gonna punch him for a little bit. He's very close to dead though. Okay, good. Also, I killed him right in the center of the arena, which is actually perfect, because at the end of the fight, he actually crawls to the center of the arena incredibly slowly. So that was really good. Alright. Now all we have left is the Great Temple, which is the final dungeon. And it is scary. The Great Temple is just filled with brutal combat arena after brutal combat arena. In between there are some difficult platforming segments, and also a couple of complete RNG Fiesta rooms as well to cap it off. So yeah, hopefully we can do it well, but yeah, it is a tough dungeon for sure. It's also a very big dungeon, as you can see. We cheekily turn into a chicken right before jumping in there. Alright, let's do this thing. This first arena is kind of annoying because these guys have random shield colors. I really ran out of stamina completely. This arena is kind of spooky because halfway through it, or about 3/4 of the way through it, a couple of hammer times are going to spawn. And if you're not expecting them, hammer times are the enemy whose attack is undodgeable. It one-shots you, and their attack literally covers the entire screen, because there's 2 of them that are going to spawn. So you really just need to be ready for it. So after I kill 3 of these skeletons, they'll spawn. So I just need to be prepared to instantly react to him spawning and knock him off the cliff, because otherwise he's just gonna ruin your day. Some portals. I'm gonna try and do a fast strat here. And okay, quite high enough. Okay, let's try this again. That's no good. Really? I thought that was good, actually. I've been trying to learn this strat recently, but it's actually quite dangerous, because it makes this room even worse, and this room's already really bad. Okay, the enemies played nice there. That room is just a RNG nightmare. Okay, yeah, that attack is undodgeable and one-shots you, so... not much I could do there. Okay, he's dealt with. Also, I have a full intensive bar here, which is good, so I really want it for, this guy. And these guys, to a lesser extent. Okay, good fight. But they just keep coming. This next fight is against a beatboxer who has been upgraded so that he one-shots you. His attack, also undodgeable. Also, there are these annoying skeletons, so I try and attack a few of them through the walls. Okay, let's not get hit. Oop. You can also, as you can see, dodge out of your attacks. Okay, good. To wait just a second for some stamina back there. Alright, and they just keep coming. This room is also not very fun. This is going to be our first introduction to lightning, which is the name of an enemy that is really, really obnoxious. Oh, okay, yeah. That attack is hard to dodge. No, I foolishly ran out of stamina. That's okay. So here we see lightning. These guys are rather annoying. They can fly, they can shoot lightning balls at you. They're just rather obnoxious in general. They can troll you really, really hard at times. This room is surprisingly not actually bad at all when you just mostly just hold right. There's only a few enemies that can actually hit you there. Wait. So fun fact, you can stand next to enemies in this game. They don't hurt you at all unless they're actually attacking. Okay. And here we have the longest checkpoint in the game. So I got checkpoint right before entering this room. Okay, I might just die in this room, that's cool too. But I don't get another checkpoint for like 2.5 minutes. So if I die at any point, I get sent back to before this room, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, this room is another big old RNG fiesta. Ugh, okay. I maybe should have played that a little safer, but... I'll be fine, I'm sure. So I'll let you know when I hit the next checkpoint, but at any point if I die, I get sent back to before that room. So don't mess up these dodges, because I am at low health. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, at the very end, right before the next checkpoint, there's a random hammer time that just one-shot you, which is fun. This puzzle's kind of neat. Just a like portal and dimension puzzle. I still have not gotten to a checkpoint. Wait here for stamina. Still no checkpoints. Here's the hammer time. Just ignore him and he'll leave you alone, usually. And here finally is the checkpoint. So we're safe. safe from getting sent back really far. We still have a brutal combat arena to come. This is probably the hardest arena in the dungeon. I've actually saved a full intenso bar for it. It actually makes it a lot easier. As soon as I kill this guy, I should have special attacked him. I'm done. Okay, well, let's do it this way then. Immediately use intenso to deal with his lightning, which massively simplifies things. Oh no! That was my bad, and really unfortunate. Actually. Now I don't have an intensive bar, which makes this a lot more hard. Did you not? Okay. This guy's probably gonna teleport away at some point. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, this is just gonna take a little bit longer. Sir, could you please come down here? Okay. Yeah, you got the goat fly, which is nice. So you need to set up this goat fly off of the wall of the arena, which disappears after the arena ends. So you have to be just like really speedy about it. This is the final combat arena, and actually a pretty easy one. Just need to deal with all these exploders, but it's the same pattern every time. It does get a little bit spooky if you like accidentally do the wrong special attack and you find yourself just like yeah, like it can just mess you up, and you can just get some really low timers or death. Oh, I thought you could make that with a double jump. Well, that was silly of me. Running out of stamina at a time like this. Okay. I need to wait for stamina again. I'm just doing this segment really quite poorly. We'll survive somehow. Alright, there's now just one room standing between us and the final boss, and it is a RNG fiesta. I don't need to kill any of the enemies in this room, but I just need to get through it, but whether they'll let me is a better question. Okay, they will. Nice. Very nice. So that is the Great Temple, and all that stands between us and victory now is Kalaka. The Kalaka fight is not too bad. In his first phase, so all of his attacks one-shot us, period. That's just how that works. In his first phase, he is very, very fast. He only gives us a very small window in which to hit him. And every time he appears, he will be in a random dimension and have a random shield color on him. So I have to be able to adapt to those. However, his pattern is always exactly the same. He will always do the same attacks in the same order. So I'm going to go for a 3-cycle, or tricycle as we call it, which should be pretty doable. But we'll see. Okay, so far so good. Excellent. Okay, and that's phase 1. I hope I made that look easy, but that is probably harder than it looks. Phase 2, he's just gonna throw attacks at us. They all one-shot us, but he telegraphs all of his attacks about 6 years in advance. So it's not too bad. He does have a lot of health, though. Dodge. Okay, that's the fight. Very nice. That was pretty clean. So time's coming up soon. We just need to sit through like a minute of cutscenes, unfortunately. But yeah, we have rescued the president's daughter and saved the day. Hey, what's this weird glowing thing? I don't know what that is. Let's check it out. Oh, it's the final piece of the luchador mask that we've been collecting. Oh, this is only our first piece? Spoiler warnings. But we're about to get the bad ending. We have not been collecting luchador mask chunks. And so, 3, 2, 1, time. But, yeah. It's, this is a little awkward. But, this is the ending to any %, unfortunately. You gotta see some sweet hundo runs if you want to see a bit of a happier ending. But yeah, that's the run. That is Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. Any % glitchless. I'm Mr. UPPERCUT, and thanks so much for watching.